Therapeutic meeting at Light in the Shire Spiritist group. We are here at the Sutherland Multipurpose Center, live for anyone who's still joining us face to face, or for anyone who wants to participate online. We are also live on Skype, and we wanted to say a big thank you to Helen Coelho, who's joining us from Melbourne. So Helen has been in Spiritism for quite a long time, at the Paul and Stevens Spiritist group in Melbourne, and also the Spiritist Society of Melbourne, newly formed, and doing the same, I guess, the same work as we try to do here, which is the spreading of the Spiritist teachings to anyone who wants to learn it. And we are so grateful again, Helen, for you to be accepting our invite to join us tonight and talk about such an important topic, reincarnation. So I'll give the mic to you, Helen. Feel free to get started, and thank you again.
No, Fran, thank you. And thank you to all your group for inviting me. And you said it right. It's such an important topic, reincarnation. And I hope that what we discuss here today will bring some light into this topic, although many people might already know it, isn't it? So I'll start by saying that reincarnation is one of the most life-changing concepts there is. So if we associate reincarnation with the idea of immortality of the soul, and also with the concept of a supreme intelligence, which I'm going to call God, that can change our lives forever. And we'll see that the three concepts together can help us build resilience, can help us navigate through challenges in life, overcome difficulties, because we have a broader understanding of what life truly is. And if we look at these three concepts, but we look at them separately, for example, we know that many people, they believe already in the immortality of the soul, and they also believe in the concept of God. However, because of our lack of complete understanding of what God truly is, and how God and love, you can say that God is love, we sometimes think that we are eternal souls. We believe that. And we believe that we're destined to bliss. However, sometimes we think that our fate for eternity is limited only to one lifetime. So that in itself already changes the way that we might behave. However, if we think of developing all the virtues, and especially developing our ability to love, not only ourselves, but other people, in one lifetime, in a few decades, that seems to be a stretch, isn't it? And Allan Kardec, in the Spirits book, which is one of the fundamental books of the Spiritist philosophy, he asked that to the spirits, because at his time, it prevailed, that belief that yes, we are immortal beings, but mainly our soul is created when we are born, and we are eternal, but we only have one chance at life. And so he started by asking the spirits that were helping Kardec and his team understand our reality. He asked the spirits, what is the purpose of us incarnating? So why wouldn't we be created and simply live in a heaven of some sort? Why would we have to come and incarnate and live this life? And the spirit said that all spirits are created simple and ignorant, and we can compare lightly to a child. And we develop in knowledge and in sentiment. So they said that there are two main goals of incarnations, which one is to progress and to progress towards perfection. And the other one is to contribute to the creation. So to contribute to what we have around us, to make this place a better place. And then Kardec thought, and he asked, that's asked in question 132. And then he asked in question 166, okay, and I'm going to read it. How can a soul who did not reach perfection during this corporeal life complete its work of its purification? So what if the person doesn't achieve that perfection that they're meant to in one lifetime? Because it seemed, isn't it, that if our fate is to be decided in a few decades, we would have to do a lot of work to learn all the virtues in such a short time. And the spirits responded by submitting to the trial of a new existence. So by coming again and reincarnating and progressing slowly and learning, then that started to make more sense. So when we add the thought of reincarnation to the two ideas that we already had, like humanity already believed, not everyone, but many people, that we are eternal and that there is a loving God. When we add incarnation as a chance for us to progress, so our fate for eternity is true happiness, as the spirits say. And that is built in a progression of lifetimes where we'll develop our intelligence, we'll develop our emotions, and we'll learn how to love ourselves, and we'll learn how to love others, and we'll learn how to love creation and how to contribute to a better world. So we have as many lifetimes as needed. And as we progress and as we develop, we joyfully contribute and actively contribute towards creation of a better world. So that is the combination of these three life-changing concepts. And even if we didn't dedicate more attention to what the teachings that the spirits brought us, if we could just truly understand the beauty of these three concepts, which are universal concepts, meaning that they're universal truths, that there is a law of progress, and within that law of progress, we are constantly growing, and eventually we will reach a relative perfection, isn't it? So we will be able to contribute more and more as we develop as human beings. Now, we know that reincarnation isn't a new concept. So it's been around for thousands of years, and there are evidence of a reincarnation in India, in Greece, through Pythagoras, for example. He would say that we live several different lives. And although it wasn't exactly what we know now, but we know that it is a basis for many different religious beliefs, especially in the East. So the Oriental philosophies and religions, they have embedded the idea of reincarnation. However, this idea is not always similar, because sometimes they believe that we can reincarnate in animals and sometimes as humans. And what did the spirits tell Kardec during that time that they were investigating what the spirits had to bring us? So one of the distinctions of the teachings of the spirits in Spiritism is that because the spirits of higher order brought the idea of the divine laws as well, that there are divine laws that govern the universe, and that we are all subject to these laws, even though if we don't know them, if we're not aware of them, we're still subject to them. And these divine laws, they help us progress, because our main objective is to progress and to reach true happiness in its real meaning, in that meaning that is long lasting. So they brought us that within the divine laws, like I mentioned, there is a law of progress. And we can find that information in the Spirit's book. And it's in chapter 8, where they describe that everything in nature is progressing. And we, as part of nature, we are also progressing. But we also find that beautifully stated in Genesis, which is another one of the fundamental books of the Spiritist philosophy. And it's in chapter 3, and the item is 24. And in this item, the spirits describe that when we start our process, our life as an intelligent being, we are very similar to the brute because we have instinct, and our struggle is mainly survival, and it's mainly to keep ourselves alive. But as time passes and we come again and again, we start developing moral sentiment. And the moral sentiment at some point starts to balance with our animal instincts. And when that starts to happen, when we start to step out of the animal instincts and start to have some moral sentiment, we no longer struggle to survive or to feed ourselves anymore, because within our intelligence, we know how to plant, how to conserve food, so we don't die when winter comes because we have a reserve of food. And then our struggles are different type of struggles. So within these reincarnations, we start struggling to conquer in an attempt to find self-value. So we try to satisfy our ambition, our pride, because we're seeking deep down inside, as a germ, like as a little seed, this growth and this self-value, which later on we're going to discover that's not about that. But in that phase, that's where we are as humanity. But as time passes, even more in our incarnations, we slowly start to have our moral senses to take over. And then we develop sensitivity. And as we progress in our sensitivity, our emotions, and our intelligence, we stop the need for distraction. We don't feel that need anymore because we start to understand that there's something more important within us than the external conquers. And we start slowly to look into ourselves for the internal conquers. And in this item in Genesis, they say that from that time onwards, our struggle, rather than being bloody and brutal, it starts to become purely mental. Because, and I quote this, humans struggle against difficulties and no longer against their fellow beings. So we stop struggling with the people and situations outside us, and we start to develop and face the difficulties that are within us. So in this item 24 of chapter 3 of the Genesis, we can see our evolutionary journey of all the incarnations that we went through until we got to this point that we are right now. And as I speak here, we have different levels of understanding still, because it's a personal process and a person can take as long as they need. But as I like to say, we don't want to take that long. We want to take the minimum of amount of time to progress, so we won't have to go through that much external hardship, and we can focus then in just improving ourselves. And we can find that in the Spirit's book as well, because Kardec asked if suffering will ever end. And the Spirits say exactly this that's written here, but then in the Spirit's book, that there's a certain level of knowledge, intellectual, but especially moral and emotional development, that from that point on, we don't need the kind of physical struggle that we face right now. But however, we do have duties, and these duties, they they will have us struggling with ourselves in developing ourselves. But it's a different kind of struggle because we have some tasks that we have to dedicate to. And sometimes we don't think about the preparation to reincarnate. So we know that we are eternal and we have as many chances we need to come to this planet and to learn the lessons that we need to learn and develop our intelligence, our morals. But is there, and what level of preparation is there for someone who is reincarnating? And the reason that's important because there's a concept that spirits brought to Kardec that's called the planning of the reincarnation. And that will help us understand and end the confusion between reincarnation plan and what we normally call karma. And karma, we misunderstand that word from its origin because from its origin, it doesn't have that negative connotation that karma equals suffering. Karma just equals a consequence, a result to a previous action, an effect of a cause. However, as we normally see today, the word karma is linked to, I have to hang in there because this is my karma. And the spirits, when they bring us the idea of a reincarnation plan, that changes because in question 258 of the Spirit's book, Kardec asked the spirits if we know beforehand what we're going to face when we are incarnated. Is that something that we know previously? And the spirits say that we not only know, but when we can, we actively collaborate in planning for those things. And then Kardec said, okay. And he asked in question 259, which is the next question. I'll read this one because this is important for us to understand. If our spirit chooses the kinds of trials it will undergo, are all tribulations of life, therefore, foreseen and chosen by us? That's a very intelligent question, isn't it? Because one thing is to plan for the incarnation, but how detailed are the plans and how set in block are the things that are going to happen with us? Is everything that happens to us planned beforehand? Basically, that's what he was asking. And the spirits say, not all of them, because it cannot be said that you have chosen and foreseen everything that happens to you in the world, not even the smallest things. And then he says what the incarnation plan really is about, because they say, you have chosen the kinds of trials. The details are consequences of the position you have chosen and frequently of your own actions. So when we sometimes mistakenly think that everything that's happening to us, it's because of karma or it's because I chose this beforehand, what the Spirit says is we choose the kinds of trials or the situations that we're going to be put in. However, the purpose of that is for our evolution. And there are books besides the basic Spiritist philosophy books, the 5 fundamental books, from a spirit called André Luis. And he talks about the life in the spiritual world. And I'm going to quote 2 books, which is, one is Astral City, and there's a movie about this book as well, and also Missionaries of the Light. Both of them you can find the version in English. And in these books, he tells us that there is, when we're planning for our incarnation, there is a group of expert spirits with different expertise. So, for example, we might have a spirit who has the expertise of human body and biology. We will have spirits with the expertise of understanding our psyche, to understand what is it that we have to do to improve. And the more evolved we are, the more we have the capability of collaborating with this plan that they are developing for our next incarnation. Because after we choose the kinds of trials, we can understand that, for example, we might be suffering a certain challenge, and then we move cities completely. We change all the people that are around us. We had some difficulties with certain people. When we arrive in that city, a few months or years later, that same situation seems to repeat. So it will make sense to us that that's probably part of the plan and the kinds of trials. So it might be that we are trying to develop a certain area of our personality or of our virtues. And that's why no matter where you go, that situation is going to present yourself not to cause suffering, but to offer you the opportunity to grow as a human being. And that's beautiful, isn't it? But the best part is that when we have these plan being designed, and we might be able to contribute to that, we have loving spirits that put all their efforts, so we are 100% successful in our journey, 100% successful in our incarnation. And the most important spirit of them all is a spirit that um, we call the guardian angel or the protector spirit. And Kardec asked something to the spirit, and I'll see if I can go into the forgetfulness, but might not have time. But in question 489 to 492, he asks about the spiritual mentor and guide that helps us through our reincarnation. And sometimes we don't make the most of that because we forget that this spirit is with us with the mission, and we can find that in question 491, with the mission of supporting us through our lifetime and encouraging us when we are discouraged and inspiring us to do the right things. So if you have a read at these questions, you will see that this spirit is connected from us to birth, and we find that as an answer to question 492, until death, or beautifully even. Sometimes the spirit loves us so much that it will accompany us through several different lifetimes because they're more evolved than us, and they love us so much that they want to help us grow and develop through the different lifetimes. You gotta love a spiritual guide, don't you? Because they have that infinite patience with us. They have that infinite love. They know us for who we truly are, and they still hang in there many different lifetimes. So when we're feeling down, or when we're feeling that the struggles are too overwhelming, we can resort to this guide and also all the other spiritual friends that help us prepare for this incarnation and that are in the other side of life. And many of us will not see them, not feel them. However, we know that they are there constantly cheering for us and doing their best to inspire us to have a positive result. Sometimes they might come as a dream and we say, oh, I dreamt, a friend just texted me and said, oh, I dreamt that my father was telling me to stop smoking. And he said in my dream, to throw the 4 packs of cigarettes that I had. When I woke up, I went to check and I really had 4 packs of cigarettes. And do you think that it might be him? My friend asked me. I said, I don't know, but probably it might have been him. And these spirits that love us can come through our dreams or through inspiration to support us in our incarnation. So we're almost coming to an end of our discussion here today. So like I said, this concept is a life-changing concept. And if we truly want to fully understand and study more and understand, why do we forget about the past? What else do we need to know about the reincarnation plan? Is there anything else that Helen might have not talked about because she didn't have time? And what about the spirit guide? How can I communicate more effectively with them? I recommend reading the Spirit's book, and you can find it, the parts related to the guardian angels and related to reincarnation. Because if we fully understand reincarnation, we will understand the amount of love that the Creator has with each one of us, that the Creator loves us indistinctively all the time. It doesn't matter if we're doing something right or wrong. God will always love us. He would prefer that we would do things differently, but he never stops loving us, ever. And he wishes that all of us progress as fast as we can, so we can reach happiness as fast as we can. So we're coming to the end, and I hope that you all have a lovely rest of the evening. And let's sink in that idea of that we live several lives, that we are eternal beings, and that we were created and we are supported by a loving God all the time. Thank you very much. And thank you again, Fran, and all the group for inviting me for this conversation.
No, thank you so much, Helen. And thank you everyone who's joining us online now, live through Facebook or here in Skype. Thank you. We will go through our healing meditation now. So if anyone who's listening in now wants to join in, we're going to keep transmitting it live so anyone can join us. But thank you again from the bottom of our hearts. I think I can speak on behalf of all of us here that they were just such lovely reminders of the precious gift that reincarnation is. And yeah, like you said, all the tools that we have to be able to be successful and I guess get to the happy state quicker. We all want that. No cheating, but doing the best we can. But so thank you again, Helen. And dear friends, so we're just going to invite everyone now to join us. I'm going to put some music in here in the background. So let's take this opportunity to once again close our eyes and find a comfortable position where you are. And let's enjoy this presence of our protecting spirits, our mentors or guardian angels, like our friend Helen was referring to. Let's feel their embrace. Let's send them our heartfelt gratitude for their support unconditionally to us, to our success, to our happiness. Let's take this opportunity to thank our Creator for this opportunity of this life that we have, of all these lives that we have lived until we got to this moment, and all the opportunities that were given to us, all the mercy, all the love that has been shown us. And let's take this opportunity to connect with all these light workers that are with us, all the light workers from Light in the Shire Spiritist group and the different fraternities that work for the good in this planet. Let's feel their love, their embrace, bringing this peace and love to us. Let's ask for this energy to also be multiplied, to be sent to the hearts of those who are in a lot of suffering, to all the people who are currently asking God for assistance, asking this divine light to guide them. May they feel that they're never alone, there's love helping them in this journey. To all the sick and needy, to all the children, the elderly that might be living in nursing homes or orphanages, all the people in hospitals, in institutions. Let's imagine all the homes in this planet surrounded by light and love, with this energy and this connection with the divine, entering each home and bringing peace, bringing serenity. To all of those who are enduring life in places of war zones, may this energy of peace, of love, help them feel strengthened in their challenges that they're living. May all these lights bless the hearts of those who are passing back to the spiritual life, to all of those who are now coming back into this material realm, reincarnating in this blessed opportunity. May this light and love help guide them through these new journeys and help console the hearts of those who might be struggling with this temporary disconnection from their loved ones. Let's feel this energy of light, of love, going to each and every home of us here connected, bringing this love to our family members in this life, in this lifetime or previous ones, the ones that are already in the spiritual realm, assisting us. May they all feel this love and light that unites us. And let's bring this energy to be sent to our workplaces, our places of study, to the hearts of those who might feel somewhat different from us, or what we could call enemies of previous lives because of our wrongdoings. We humbly ask for forgiveness and we send our love to go to their hearts and help us balance these relationships. We take this last opportunity of receiving this healing energy that has been already prepared for us by these light workers that are here with each and every one of us. Imagining this light being showered from the top of our heads into our bodies. We feel this energy migrating through each system, each organ, each cell of our bodies and revitalizing ourselves so we can feel this connection with this higher energy. We feel this connection with our higher selves, with our potential for growth, to achieve all of which we were set to achieve. Sending our heartfelt thanks once again to all the spirits that have allowed us to be where we are today. And we ask them to keep guiding us, keep protecting us in this journey, wherever we are. May this peace and love be with us until we meet again next month. Peace be with us. Thank you so much again, Helen.
Oh, thank you, Fran. I hope I covered everything because I had more, but I wasn't sure if I would have time.
No, I think you did.